So welcome. I am Gina Rose, your Division F Director, and I'll be your host for the hour for the training. And I'd like to let you know that we have a full hour. I hopefully have your full attention, even if you're having lunch. In the meantime, I'd like to introduce your presenter. Victoria Matthew joined Toastmasters in October 2019. And since joining Toastmasters, Victoria has participated in 2 speech contests in 2020 and 2021. Victoria is currently was president of TM2, that's a T-Mobile Toastmasters Club, in 2021 and 2022. And she's currently our area director for Area 64, Division F. And Victoria's background is in program and project management, near and dear to my heart because I also work for T-Mobile. And her hobbies include tennis, cooking, music, and spending time with friends and family. So without further ado, let me introduce to you, let's put our jazz hands together and welcome Victoria Matthew.
Oh, Gina, thank you so much for the very warm welcome. And I'm excited to be here with all of you today and go through this training. And yes, we have like a complete hour to focus on the VP of membership and what it means, and such a special, and I consider it a pretty fun role in Toastmasters. So I am going to, give me 1 second here, I'm going to share my screen. So let's go ahead and dig in, and I want to talk about the agenda that we're going to cover because our time is going to go very quickly. What are we going to cover today? Oh, I'm going to switch it over to presentation mode. My apologies, folks. So what are we going to be covering today? First off, we're going to be covering like, what is the VP of membership role? What's everything that is included in? What are the responsibilities? And then give you resources, right? Because as we know, each club has special and unique challenges. And just to start off, I just want to start off with a quick poll. You can put it in the chat. Are folks online now, or are you hybrid? Or are some people meeting in person? What are clubs doing these days?
We're online. We're talking about going hybrid, but we're still online.
Okay, lots of online. I know that's we're trying to our club, our T-Mobile club. We're trying to go hybrid too, right? And it was interesting, just a little bit of background why I asked that question, right? Because with the training, right, there was it was based when it was still people are still meeting in person, right? So that was why I wanted to kind of understand of where people are going, because I think as we go through the training, that's going to help direct like some of the tools and the resources. So what do you hope to get out of this, right? Understanding your roles and responsibilities, right? And then helpful resources. What are the tools that you're going to need to help you in your role? Hold on here. Uh-oh, I'm having a little bit of problems here, guys.
Oh, it's not moving forward.
Let's see. It is stuck for some reason.
Remember, you have to click on PowerPoint to get it to forward.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
So the VPM role. What an exciting role. I personally, on top of being like an area director this year, I am actually the VP of membership for my T-Mobile club. And I just think it's so much fun because you really are at the center of membership sustainment and growth. So all these folks, right, that want to reach out and learn about Toastmasters, you actually are the first person that they are going to talk to and get an understanding of why to join Toastmasters, what makes Toastmasters unique, how Toastmasters can help in your personal and career growth. And I can tell you, just in the very short time, it's only been like 3 years, and I cannot believe what an amazing experience it is. So, let's have a lot of enthusiasm, because there's so much growth and opportunity. And there's also going to be unique challenges, right? Helping your club specific growth and sustainment. They're each going to be different. So we want to get into the tools to help each and every one of you. Now, we're going to start off here quick, because we want to make sure that this session is dedicated to you. So we're going to do some breakout sessions, and they're going to be for 10 minutes. And it's just one question for each of you. And the question is, what are the top 3 challenges that your club is facing? Now, after 10 minutes, we're going to all come back together, and I'm going to ask that we have one representative from each of the breakout sessions to provide a summary of what you took away as your top 3 challenges. And you're going to have about 60 seconds to chat. There might be some overlap, so we'll see how this goes. You might have similar challenges, which is good, because we can go into those a little bit more in depth when we get into your roles and responsibilities. So time is going to be going fast. You're going to see the breakout room when you get broken out, you're going to see the number of which room you're assigned to when it breaks out. So have fun, get to know each other, talk about some of the challenges that you're going, and then we'll report back here in 10 minutes. All right, we're all back. Hey, well, welcome back. I hope you had a good time getting to know some other folks from after different clubs, and also sharing what your challenges are, right? That's really important to have some foresight into what you want to tackle and how you want to help your clubs. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go room by room, each room, and then who's going to be the presenter from each one of your rooms, and how you can do that is just, there's a reaction at the bottom of your screen in Zoom, and you can go ahead and click the raised hand. All right, so we will go first with room 1. And is that, Linda, is that you?
I don't know what room I was in. I was just in a room.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Who do we from room 1? We have Betty, Brian.
Maybe
Brian.
Rachel. We were in number 1. Would
You
talk,
were
Rachel?
number 1. Betty, you're up. You got a minute. So what did you guys talk about? You're on.
I was inviting Rachel, but well.
Do you want me to? I took notes, Betty, if you want me to take this one.
Yeah, you can just go ahead.
All right.
Thank you.
The top challenges that each of our clubs had, which perhaps the rest of you can relate to, is engagement by members, engagement as on the executive team, so getting executive team members, and getting new members, and also sustaining the members that we have. So those, I think, were our 4 main challenges that we had. And we went right into talking about things that we did to address these challenges, see if anybody had any good ideas for the rest of us. And I don't remember everybody who suggested these, but somebody combined clubs. They had a couple Amazon clubs that were meeting at the same time. So they were still 2 distinct clubs, but they just combined meetings. I thought that was genius, because then you get a lot more people in a room, which always helps. Going back to in-person meetings worked for some people, for bringing people back to meetings who weren't necessarily wanting to meet online. But then, of course, there were some people who could meet online when they couldn't meet in person. And the last one was my club started taking attendance just so we could pay attention and notice when maybe somebody was missing for a few weeks. And you don't always notice when you're busy filling roles. So we could email them or call and check in and make sure everybody was okay. So those were the
Awesome.
challenges that we had.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Rachel, for sharing. That is a great list. All right, let's go to room 2. We have Anne, Frank, Gloria, Linda. Who's up?
That would be me.
Well, welcome.
And we said the same things that Rachel's room said. In addition, just how to garner prospects. Some clubs have a natural advertising venue or a natural way to advertise. Some of us are more challenged by how to draw in prospects in the first place. And then there was some concern or attention paid to ensuring that follow-up when you have a guest is consistent.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Linda. That is a great list and all good things. Let's move on to room 3. Who do we have from room 3?
Oh.
Anthony or?
May I-
Oh yeah, you have one more thing? Uh-oh, sorry, Linda, you're on mute.
and I didn't even click it. In addition to combining clubs, we have talked with another club about partnering for maybe just the short term while we're still working through this COVID stuff to maintain individual identities, but have enough to staff a meeting consistently.
All right, well, thank you. Let's move to room 3. Who's up? Anthony or Justin or Mark or Toby?
Well, we talked about the challenges. The biggest challenge we're going to face pretty soon is how to go back to an in-person or a hybrid meeting. And I think we're going to have to go to hybrid to keep some of the members that we have. And if you talk about hybrid, well, then you have to have a room that has the equipment it has good Wi-Fi and good presentation equipment. And that's going to be a big challenge to find that room.
Right.
The next thing is, how do you market yourself? In one of the club members was one of the group members was a Amazon club, and it's okay. You can't just go out and advertise to everybody. You have to advertise internally. And so how do you get people to go to the meetings? My club in Snohomish, I know in the past we've been pretty successful with ads on Facebook, but that works for a group that meeting in a place, not a
Right.
club or a company
Well,
meeting.
Well, hey, Mark, that was awesome. We're gonna have to, I want to make sure we have everyone time, but thank you. That was great. Let's move on to room 4. Who's our representative from room 4? Audrey, Nadia?
I can do it.
Okay.
So our challenges that we spoke about were very aligned with Rachel's. A couple of them were, getting members to attend and participate. Something that my group personally has experienced is we're having a hard time getting members to actually sign up for roles. Myself and Ian were saying that sometimes we see members signing up for multiple roles, and we've seen our executive team is really stepping up and signing for lots of roles. Maybe they're a Toastmaster as well as an evaluator, and even though we're trying to leave these roles blank to see if people will actually step up even in the meeting, it's been a big challenge to get people to really want to participate and actually take on the roles. So that was one. Another one was recruiting new members. We're online, especially we're a global company, so we can't do anything in person, but not having that face-to-face interaction has been challenging. So finding new ways to recruit members via team Slack channels or team Facebook, whatever you might need to
Okay.
do. And then third was also, again, engagement by members. So joining the meetings and, really wanting to jump in and participate.
That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Audrey. And good. All right, let's move on to room 5. And I just need to, I just want to make sure we have time. So who is going to be our representative from room 5?
With that, with Jessica, Jenny, Marty.
Let's see, I
and-
have Dennis, James, Linda, Nancy, or there's another Victoria. All right.
Well, I opened the session with my 3 big concerns, which are growth, ghost members, and participation. We also discussed other items like putting together ghost meetings. Where was I? Anyway, the idea of putting on an interesting meeting online is quite the challenge. I opened with the question of, are you meeting in person or are you still meeting online? And one of the gals held her hand up and said, we had our first meeting in person. And it's like, yay, it's coming back. I have a feeling if we can get back to face-to-face meetings, that the membership will take care of itself. That also leads to the challenge of, what do you do with ghost members?
Right.
These are members who pay their dues and don't show up, basically.
Well, thank
So
you, Dennis. I'm going to have to keep things moving. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Ghost members. I think that should be a new term from our training today. I love that. I think we all have ghost members. Let's see. We are just down to 2 more rooms. So let's move on to room 6. And that's Lisa, Matt, Natalie, Rohit, and Vincent.
Sure, I will go. The
Okay,
same
thank you.
thing as other groups have been saying, attaining new members, retaining members, and then also role sign up. We also see that members will sign up for speeches, but will back out last minute. So officers will have to take over the speech roles or do double duty on roles. And then also Zoom burnout. So a lot of members would like to see more hybrid meetings or actually in-person meetings. And then also keeping meetings fun instead of business-like. More members would like to see that. So trying to keep meetings fun. And that's it from our group.
Wow, I like it. Thank you. I'm learning from each of you guys today. Lots of new terms to use. And let's go on to the final group. We have Dawn, Janine, Jessica, and Marty.
Hi, everybody. With our group, the main theme was gaining new members, also maintaining membership. The number one reason why people drop out that was mentioned is time constraints. And we also have a common theme was people not using the pathways. They're giving speeches, however, they're not entering on the pathways. Another point that was given was low engagement. People are attending, however, they're not stepping up into roles. And in mine, and another one was, that was about it. So those were the main highlights.
Well, that was perfect. Wow, I hope thank you. This was really informative to me. And I hope also that it was informative to you, right? And hopefully it looks like we all share some of the same, we're having some of the same challenges. Dawn, thank you so much for sharing your list. And thank you all. It was really, I felt like I was right there with you, and we're having some of the same challenges that all of you are having. So I'm going to share my screen again, and let's get back into the training. All right, I am screen sharing now, and just want to make sure before we go ahead and get started. Can everyone if you can just do like in the response, just in the chat, just let me know if you can see my screen. Just want to make sure we're started here. Okay, thank you. Well, this was all great things, right? And I think really all getting a pulse of what challenges you are facing right now. So we're going to spend like the rest of our time, and we only have about 24 minutes now, but we're going to like talk about the actual club meeting, what happens outside the club meeting, which I think is really important. And then what happens in, they call them an executive committee. We call ours, personally, we call it our officer team. So I'm going to keep going here, folks. And if you have questions or anything, any comments, feel free to put them in the chat as I'm going through. Well, let's just start off, right? Now, in the club meeting, what are the main responsibilities, right? Well, of course, the first one is you're going to be that person that meets our new or potential guests, right? Really answering questions and really making that an experience that they want to be part of Toastmasters and getting that warm feeling. Inviting guests, right? Invite them to join the club, right? Getting so we can see that excitement. And then also the main thing is, you know, having that membership application ready if folks want to join right then and there. And I did want to point out, I put a link in here. There is a new membership application for this year. It's all brand new, and there is some taxes. So when you're looking, when folks are asking about like how much does it cost to join Toastmasters, right? And how much pathways, there is a new form that calculates all of that tax information for you. So I wanted to share that with you. And I think it's really critical, right? We talked about like low engagement, right? We talked about people, like a big one I personally seen in our club is we have participants, but there's a lot of ghost members. And there's also like people don't want to sign up for roles, or they don't want to be part of pathways, right? So having that, figuring out like in the club meeting, making that like a really supportive environment for folks so they feel comfortable, right? Because, you know, the best thing is it's a playground, right? It's a place where everyone can learn and grow together and learn from each other, which I think is the best experience. So that is the club meeting. So now, a lot of the work, which all of this great feedback that you provided outside of the club meetings, right? And hopefully this will help you folks in kind of coming up with your plans, right? But there's a lot of things like identifying who could be like potential members, having like membership contests, right? Having like a membership contest or like programs, how to get new members. I like some of the ideas that folks were talking about, having Facebook groups, right? And, you know, I would actually suggest in this one, like partnering with your VP of public relations, right? And potentially like, you know, the VP of education to really understand like what are people really going after, right? Understanding like all the needs and the growth for your particular club, right? I can say our particular club presentation mastery is like the main thing. People want to like be good at presenting, right? And understand how to present, right? And they come to our club just for that. So really getting in and being creative and fun, you know. I've heard different things, and all of your clubs are going to be different because your needs are going to be different, right? I think the big thing here, I really like this third bullet, is creating and promoting membership goals, right? Hopefully today, from talking to other VP of memberships, you're going to take away some ideas, right? I love the fact that you had enough time to actually solution, you know, talking about potentially combining clubs, right? Partnering with other clubs, maybe getting some other guest speakers to come into your clubs so that there is like, so people understand why they want to come to your club and they want to be part of their club and it's a meaningful experience for them. You're going to be attending the executive and officer meetings. Now, each officer team is going to be having a different time or cadence that they meet, but really, bringing your ideas, what you're seeing, you're talking to potential members, which is very, very much, you're going to be on the pulse of understanding how to sustain and grow your club. Answering questions of your guests, right? One thing I've learned just from my club is when I get someone that reaches out and wanting to learn, I schedule like quick meeting with them, right? Really understand why are they interested in Toastmasters? How did they hear about Toastmasters? How did they hear about our club? That would be another thing to really understand from your guests is how are they finding out about your clubs? Some other things is inviting guests to join your club. And also always with the membership application. That's a big thing, making that membership application as easy as possible for folks. Oh, there's one last thing I wanted to, oh shoot, I got a little excited here, sorry. One thing I wanted to add to say about the membership applications, partnering with your treasurer so that as soon as that membership application is finished, they can go ahead and process the payment. Now, let's talk about after the club, right? Always being that person that's really working with those new folks, or even maybe sustaining members, right? You might want to always inviting folks, always helping with the membership application. I think here, one thing I'm going to add, because there was a lot of feedback when we were talking about like ghost members, right? Role sign up. A lot of the officers have to, folks are doing double sign on, even Zoom burnout, right? I think one way that the VPM membership can really help out is really working and understanding, like if we're going to sustain our club, then understanding what the pulse of that is to help it, right? You can do surveys, understanding like why people are not showing up or why they're ghosting. So I think all of that is really, it's such a critical role being a VPM membership and really understanding the pulse, and then also making suggestions, right? Being a part of the growth plan for your club to ensure sustainability and growth. Because as we knew, getting some new members in there always helps the livelihood of a club. The officer meetings, the executive meetings, very, very important. Very important because, as we've talked, always participating. There's lots of ideas that you can bring here. Recruitment, bringing recruitment plans and recruitment ideas. Hopefully partnering, with the other officers in your club, the VP of public relations, right? I really, I'm reiterating myself a little bit here, but I really liked some of the ideas that folks were giving out, right? Like if it's a Facebook group for people that are just online, or if it's, I'm a little bit, I'm part of a corporate club, so we can put flyers up. We can put we've talked about doing digi flyers up, right? But all kinds of different ideas and really understanding it. I think the fun thing about this and this role is you have the ability to kind of test things out, right? So maybe doing a digi flyer, maybe, doing like a Facebook group or surveys, right? So surveys to understand like why people are burned out, and then find different ideas, right? Maybe members can come to the club, but they don't always have to speak or sign up for a role. Maybe you have like guest speakers that come. And so there's lots of, or, inviting other folks from other clubs to join you, partnering with other clubs. Maybe you've gained some new networks here and you could, but all of those suggestions are really key. And then also reporting on club membership. So there's lots of options and you have a lot of options in the executive and officer meetings to really see and help growth and sustainability. Now, I see there's a lot of questions about the taxes. So I'm gonna I'm just gonna read here for a second. I just wanna pause. But yeah, that was a big change. But understanding that and pointing out that there is a sales tax now and it is a little different is good for members. And also having the information about pathways, right? And knowing that it's $20 per pathway. All that information is very, very good to have. So I did see, I wanted to ask, like, we have a little bit of time here. So Linda or Gina, did you guys want to say anything additional? I see there's a lot of comments in the chat about the taxes. Was there anything additional you guys wanted to add here before I move on?
I've tried to answer each question individually, so hopefully they'll go in, they'll add the new member, and then the TI will calculate it and it'll all be cleared up then.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure we addressed that in each of your questions. So thank you, Linda, for talking to everyone individually about that.
Yeah, Victoria, I also see there's an example from Marty that the VP membership should know which club members can be ambassadors that help convey the practical benefits of Toastmaster, the experience to guests. So they could be the greeters and sort of like the influencers when they're attending a meeting for the first time, invite them to come back a second time, and maybe open up the invite list when there's a speech contest. So
I think that, yeah. Gina, thank you for bringing that up, right? That's a great suggestion. I think having an ambassador is also very important. And one thing, depending on your clubs, right, that you could do is you could create a membership committee, right? A membership or growth committee, and you figure out like how to sustain your club, talk about making the meetings fun, preventing burnout, getting those ghost members to come out. I really love the ghost members. I'm going to be using that. But I think that would be, Marty, thank you for putting that suggestion in the chat. I think that's going to help folks out quite a bit. All right. So let's talk about, like, how do you get started, right? And what are the next steps? Well, I think the first thing is today was the first step, right? You attended this training, right? You took an hour out of your day. Thank you so much for coming here and spending your lunch hour with us today. And also you had the opportunity to network and hear that similar challenges, hear what other clubs are doing. Hopefully this gives you some ideas. The next thing I'm going to tell you is really, for folks that are new to this role, I would say spend some time on the Toastmasters International site. There is so much information out there. And if you go under the Club Central, your specific club, there is a lot of information in there, right? And also partner with the VP of Education, all of the members, right? That's really what makes it, and really understand like the nitty. I'm continuously amazed at how much information is out there. If you haven't already done that, I would definitely tell you to go ahead and meet and transition from the previous VP of membership. Understand what they did and understand like kind of what things went well for that person, what things they would do differently, kind of do like a complete transition that will help you. I didn't put it on here, but start to put a plan together, right? Like what plans do you want to tackle for this upcoming year? That way you can share it with your officer and executive community. And then, understand your future, all your goals and objectives, right? Like how are you gonna tackle them? What do you want to tackle? What would you like to do? And the membership surveys, I think that's pretty interesting to do. I think you're going to get a lot of good information from your members and seeing like how you want to shape, what you want to shape, And then I think also we talked about engagement in general, right? Engagement across, like engagement was a big thing I heard. It was not only just engagement from your members, right? But even engagements on your executive and officer committee. And by doing like the surveys, you can hopefully gain some insight and hopefully get them pulled in too. So there was a question from Dawn I'm looking at. Does TM have surveys available? Now, I don't know if Toastmasters has surveys, but I do know that our club, we just did SurveyMonkey, and we just did our own surveys. So I don't know, Linda, if you've seen any Toastmasters. I haven't personally found anything on the site, but if there is, let me know.
No, and like Lisa says, the Moments of Truth program is a great survey that District 2 has put into an online format. So,
okay, perfect. Thank you for bringing that up. That is the Moment of Truth. I forgot to mention that, so thank you for the reminder. All right, Google Forms. SurveyMonkey, use the Moments of Truth. We have like a couple extra minutes here. So does anyone want to just give like a quick moment to talk about the Moment of Truth?
This is Jessica Schultz. I don't necessarily have a moment of truth, but I did want to share like kind of a best practice to help make your meetings fun and more engaging. One of the things I've done is when I'm Toastmaster specifically, I'll look and see what national day of it is or what happened on that day in history and try to put a theme together around that. The other thing recently we did was, May 4th is known as Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And so we did a Star Wars theme meeting where we had everyone change their backgrounds to a Star Wars background. And we had table topics, associated with that. So just kind of trying to come up with fun meeting themes, I think can help, engage folks. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'm glad you did. That is great.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. Yeah, I think there are solutions for different types of challenges, but if we're being ghosted and very few attendance, then there might be 4 or 5, and you can switch out the agenda even and just do round table, and there are no speakers. You can do round table table topics, round robin table topics, and that's just to shake it up a bit, because if it's Zoom fatigue, have some icebreaker games, really quick, like quick wordles, maybe. So it depends, because and then if there's a lot of people but no one's signing up for roles, then it's they're voluntold. I'm sorry. Sometimes there's some tough love that's needed too.
Yes, there is. I know sometimes it has to be voluntold. Linda, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I'm just curious, and I don't know that anybody has an answer for this, but I know that we have lost members, and I've heard others say that they've lost members because they don't want to do pathways. Has anyone heard anything from TI for engaging those who are moving out of the work world and into retirement, who have a different reason for being in Toastmasters? That doesn't seem to have a pathway associated with it.
Right. I think I haven't heard of that specifically, but I do think there is like, I mean, just general, I'm trying to think. I don't remember all the pathways right off the top of my head, but I think one thing that's really great about the pathways, and a great story shared, is that you can really take the pathways to be whatever, like leadership development, right? So maybe now that you're moving into retirement, you want to maybe do volunteering, right? Maybe lead in volunteering. And you can actually take that pathway and structure each one of those projects towards that goal. So it just kind of depends. So that is just one quick to do it. But I am going to, I have one last
You have
slide here.
a hand raiser, Gloria.
Oh, hey, Gloria.
Hi, Gloria.
Hi. I just wanted to say about members who do not want to participate in pathways. We have them in both the clubs I belong to, and we work with it because they don't have technical skills. They don't know how to get onto a computer, and they'll come in and do speeches, and we've tried to work with them, but they want to participate in Toastmasters, but won't do pathways. They don't know how to turn a computer on, and we've had a hard time getting them on when we were completely virtual. Well, we lost a lot of members into TSIM because of that. But in the other club, yeah, there's a number in Birch Bay as well who stepped aside because of the technology. They couldn't get on the computer, and certainly are not going to do pathways. I think that there's a way of working with them, just without doing pathways. I'm not sure if that's the correct answer or the correct way of dealing with it, but certainly.
Yeah, it is a unique challenge, right? I think that's good. They can still be very fulfilled members, right? And add a lot of value, but it's just going to be slightly different.
Yeah.
So that's great that you have worked with them, right? And I think, membership, mentoring is always a great way. Well, it's amazing. We are almost at the close of the hour, and I have to give some time back here because we have some announcements, but I did want to share this last screen. There are resources out here, right? There's a lot of resources out here for your folks, right? New application, club officer tools, and then specific to VP of membership. And I am going to close it out. Thank you again for your time. I am going to hand it back to you, Gina.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Let's give Victoria happy jazz hands. Thank you so much for sharing VP membership training and having all of us interact with each other to solve membership challenges that we have. And for volunteer organizations like any other organizations, memberships is our lifeblood, our pipeline to leadership and pipeline to greater and improved public speaking and their improved personal growth and professional growth. So thank you so much, Victoria. Fellow Toastmasters, it is time for our survey, and our Zoom host, Karen, will drop a survey link in the chat. We appreciate your feedback this last hour of your VP membership training. And while you're doing that, I'd like to thank our Zoom master, Karen Lesson, as our Zoom host today. Thanks, Karen. Really appreciate your help today. And Linda, for stepping in as a part of our chat monitor, chat engagement, especially during this change in terms of adding taxes. And even with taxes, you know, the fee that we give, the dues that we pay every 6 months is really, you get so much value for that, but you have to put the time in, right? So it's a give and take. And we all rely on each other, just like we are here today. And with that, I will turn the floor to your Program Quality Director, Linda Worthman. Linda, welcome.
Oh, Gina, thank you so much. Karen, are you seeing that we need to fix the link and redrop it for the survey?
Oh,
There's a little mark at the end that doesn't need to be there. It should end with the date. That should be the last thing in the survey link. But I just wanted to say thank you, Victoria, for stepping up. It's so special because it's my belief this is your first time giving a district level training, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to launch a poll, and we need a lot more people just like Victoria to be brave and step up for your first time. So I'm asking, is anybody interested? And it's okay if you're not, it's completely okay. Just if you could please respond and say yes or no to the 2 questions. Would you want to be a trainer or a Zoom host like Karen, or a timer like Gina was today? Or would you want to possibly be an area director? You might be surprised to hear that we still need 18, yes, 18 more area directors to step up right away. And you will get district credit for the full year, even though it's not July 1st. You'll still get district credit for the full year. So I wanted to also say that thank you for attending the training. If, in fact, all 7 positions, all the officer positions in your club, if all 7 are trained, even if one person holds 2 positions, or even if one person holds an officer position in 2 clubs, it doesn't matter. You'll get credit for everything. But if you do that, you'll get $70. We've raised it this year for Super 7. So that's your incentive for reimbursing some club expenses. You have until June of next year to reimburse for those expenses. And also, I want to remind everybody, your trio is working very, very hard, interviewing all the international directors and everybody that we're going to vote on at convention. So if you're not planning to use your club's vote, then please assign your proxy to the district director, Tina Tate. If you're going to use it, great. We just want your club to have a voice. We want to have the full weight of the district. So you have to go into Club Central and assign your proxy, and we will be voting at convention in the middle of August. So we appreciate your support on doing that. That's all I had. It looks like we have 24 people that did the poll. That's a great turnout. We really appreciate your responses. Remember, we love your survey. The trio reads every one of those. So thank you. Back to you, Jean. I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Victoria and Karen. And thank you, VP membership and all other officers who are here today. We really appreciate your attendance and participation. And we will, if you have more questions, definitely you can reach out to any one of us. And I think our district emails are in the D2TM page, especially for the trio. And definitely we will reply to your recommendations, ideas, and share that with everyone here today. So have a nice day. Keep cool and hydrate.